changing lives.
Hello, 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 my lovely, lovely, lovely family and viewer. I thank God for another year. I want to say happy, happy, happy new year to you. For most importantly, we are in the month of love. And because we are in the month of love, we are going to be talking about love. Yes, as the program suggests, the program is Love at Home. Wherever there is love, there is peace. And that is why on Love at Home, we seek to address everything that is to help us make sure that we have love in our homes. On Love at Home, we seek to address parenting, raising children in a godly way, and also making sure that your marriage is fit and you are healthy, sound, preparing yourself to meet Christ in his own return. If you are ready, why don't you join me on Love at Home? You are watching us on Hope TV. You can watch us through Facebook, YouTube, and also through your set. And you especially, I want to say, Akwaba Ayuko Afishiapa. My name is Efiasewa Mansa. Let's go for a quick break. When we come back, I will introduce you today, the topic for our discussion. We'll be right back. Please stay tuned. Thank you.
Onyame asundwen ka obi biara o tie me brumane brekum mane memenda kwahwefo a ewo brekum ne potom na afrei ebre na duro adofo ebre na duru se onyankopon fa na safo kronkron so na wotwa na ni behwe brekum man ne santi memenda kwahwefo a ewo Midwest Ghana Conference ni titro brekum ha aka obomato nsa fresh opupanyi a wo fra no Pastor Professor Robert Osebonsu ono ne West Central Africa Division President Michem se West Africa ha nyina ono ye SDF for your penny. Where you breakum for Christ evangelistic campaign. Team almost home. HSA and Chani Yadrufie. Host pastors ne Pastor Jasper Osebonsu. Our Brekum East District. And a Pastor Patrick Cheme. Brekum Central District. And to form a brain now about Majumadia Yakoso. Na Advent Voices. And a duanim Amajumadia Yakoso Kama. Kaise. Wapomu de here. And to help screening. I would do a Bakoso. Evangelical campaign. Beshasye. 10 February 2024. Now, Kwasi 24 February 2024. Ewo Brekum Mespa. Efri na numere 6:30 p.m. Ekosi 8:30 p.m. Kaise. Mimi de twatwo no. Yebasum ewo Brekum Mespa. Na sada homeda no. Asubo ebekwaso. Na odofo tie asende bie. The sanctuary metre entumada na Nyankopon. Odima Mosi any Israel for no. Yede ne seso pepepepepe. E de ba crusade ase. Eno nti sa wo ye Kristo ni nko ade a. Brane yensia ho ade. Na yenkyerɛ wo. De nti a ehia a Kristofo. Jumadia nyina ebeye live on Hope TV and Hines TV. So person sponsor programming and now penche mu bia. Phone number way 0247 008 530 and answer 0240 204 107. Breakum for Christ evangelistic campaign. Almost home.
Thank you so much for not leaving the dial. You are welcome back and you are watching Love at Home on Hope TV. Thank you so much. In the month of February, which we termed Love Month, Love at Home shall be discussing areas of tightening, helping to tighten in your relationship or marriages. Whether you are married or you are about to marry, do not leave us. Study with us, go with us gradually. It will help you and it will help me too. Please remind your friends that time is so. Yes, it is time. Share the link. Call in your friends to join us on Facebook, YouTube, and also by your set. Let's learn, unlearn, and learn again. Today, we're going to discuss a very important topic, and it is love and communication. I'm sure you are asking why we are talking about love and communication. Yes, sometimes we communicate thinking that we love the person, but our words hurt. Sometimes we show love, but in the midst of showing love, we are not able to communicate better, and so it hurts. So what is the relationship between love and communication? How do they work hand in hand? That is why today we are discussing this. And to help me do this discussion, on my far left, I have Mrs. Doris Ofe. She is a human resource management practitioner and also a counselor. Mama Doris, good evening.
Good evening.
How was your day?
It was great.
To God be the
God.
glory. Everything in your family.
My
What about
family is
Daddy?
good. Daddy's fine.
What do you have to
thank
tell
you.
Daddy? We are in the month of love.
Daddy, good evening. And I want to say I love you very much.
The love is coming in. Love at home. Feeling love in the air. Thank you so much. Daddy, thank you.
welcome.
Thank you so much. Yes, my next handsome, fine guy is Elder Isaac Awuku. He's a business trainer and coach. And he's also a book editor. Elder, you alone, you have about 3-4 professions. God has blessed you.
Amen. Thank God
How
for
are
that.
you?
I'm fine.
And
Thank
your
you very
day
much.
generally?
Day has been good. Been resting the whole of today because I just came from a trip to Nsawam for a funeral. So
Which is part of
came
life.
home and I'm feeling
Accept
so
my
exhausted.
condolence. So sorry.
Thank you very much.
We thank God for
Thank you very
traveling
much.
mercies.
Yes. God
So
has
to
been
you
good.
out there, I say you are welcome to the show. Let's enjoy the discussion. Pick your pen. Let's learn. And learn, please, call in your friends. Now, let me start with you, Auntie Doris. Love has been defined in various ways. To you, what is love?
Thank you very much for your question. Love, generally, is a deep affection that one has for the other, whereby the other would want always to be close to the other person, share, chat, and then give all that he or she has to the person. That is how I see love to be.
Okay, so Elder, per what Mommy said, does that mean it is not possible for me to say I love you when I cannot share, when I cannot give?
Well, somebody says love is giving.
Just as Christ, God himself gave his son to us.
Sure. So
yes.
if you say you love me, then you share with me.
Okay.
You see, love means more than just the deep affection we talk about. It means so much more than that. And to prove your love, you give what you have, or you share what you have with the one whom you say you love. If not, then it's no love. So true love is when you're able to share. No matter how small it is, you should be able to share with the one you love. Then it will show that you really did you love as you profess with your mouth.
Profess with your mouth.
Yes.
But, Mommy Doris, sometimes to one person, he thinks or she thinks, she's giving all. But the other person receiving doesn't see that like that. So one party will be saying, I'm in love with you, I love you, see, I'm giving all. The other party will say, no, they don't love me, I don't see what you are giving me. What is the challenge here?
They are not communicating well.
Okay.
Yes. They are not.
So the problem is
communicating.
about communication.
The problem is about communication.
Then what is communication here?
Communication is a way of letting somebody know what you think, how you feel, and what you want to discuss, let me put it that way, with that other person. Yes, there are some people who would say, I love you and I don't want to hurt you. So whatever you said, though I didn't like it, but I won't talk. You are not communicating because I wouldn't know what you have in your head. So we share, we talk, we discuss, we bring out how we feel and what we feel about issues. And that will make me know that, oh, I thought that you didn't like me or you didn't love me. But what you said really means that you truly love me and you have good thoughts about me. But if you keep quiet, how would I know? I will just look at your face, and maybe you are not even having a frown for me to know that you are angry. You have a blank face. How would I know that
But
this is what you feel?
But having a blank face is a form of communication, right, Daddy?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
So tell me more about it.
Yeah. Just to add to that first, the issue about love is this. Love is give and take.
Yeah.
It takes two to tango.
Yeah.
Love is not when one gives and one receives. So you are the receiving end. So you always receive my love, but you don't give. No, then that is not love. Love is we share. So you give me your love and I give you my love. God didn't say only one person should love. And so when you love me and I love you, we must understand that reciprocity. So you give it, I take it, I give it, you also receive it. When it's one-sided, then it is not love. Now, when it is give and take, and you expect something from me, I think basically I must understand what you expect of me, and you must also understand what I expect of you. So when we are sharing love, when I give, there's an expectation. And when you also receive, you also give. There's an expectation. So we are all meeting each other. But where I sit and you are the one always sharing your love with me, it means I'm not giving love. And if I'm not giving love, it's one-sided love. One-sided love eventually gets tired. And when I get tired, I withdraw. And when I withdraw, love ceases. You see, love is like a plant. It must be nourished.
Okay.
And how do I nourish it? If I water my love every time and my water doesn't show it, she doesn't indicate that she's appreciating it, I get tired watering it. And when I cease watering it, it dies. So true love, we give and take. Yes.
Okay, I'll come back to give and take, true love. I'll come back to that. But now, I want us to look at the issue where sometimes you hear people say, she's not communicating. You are not communicating. What is it?
In the first place, do we understand communication?
So tell us, what is
When
it?
a man and a woman marries, and they must first understand what it means to communicate. But you see, communication doesn't come naturally. Even though we are all born to communicate, when a person is born into this, for the very first time he comes out of the mother's womb, he or she cries. He's communicating.
Okay.
So we are all natural beings, we all communicate. But it's not enough to just depend on what you are born with. We must learn how to communicate in order to have a breakthrough. When we say we're not communicating, it means that the communication is not achieving the desired,
The intended results.
sure. So when you are not communicating, it doesn't mean you're not communicating. You are, but it's not achieving a breakthrough.
Okay, so if I understand you clearly, if it is not yielding the intended results, you are talking.
Yeah, you are talking. You are communicating, but there's a breakdown.
Okay.
Yes. Because a real communication, breakthrough communication, is when you say it, I understand it, then I also respond.
Act on it.
Yes. But you said something, I didn't understand it. There's a breakdown. When there's a breakdown, it means that you have communicated, but it's broke down along the way. And so people will simply say you are not communicating. It doesn't mean that you are not communicating. It simply means that you are communicating, but it is not achieving the intended result. There are gaps. If I don't understand what you're saying, I will respond negatively. And so to have breakthrough, it means I must understand. Then we say that we are on the same wavelength. When we are not on the same wavelength, what you're saying will not achieve the desired objective.
Okay. Now,
Yes.
Mommy, we must be on the same wavelength. How can we grow in the area of communication?
Yeah, thank you. We can grow in the area of communication when, just like Elder said, we learn to communicate and communicate well. Sometimes I want to share something with you. I want to talk to you. But there are gaps. you are not listening. And even if you are listening, you are not listening actively. So I might say something and you will not understand. You will not get it well. I want us to sit down and chat. You are busily doing something. You are watching TV. You are watching, this time it's our phones. You are busy with your phone. So whatever I said, you did not understand. You didn't get it well. So you might even hear something else. And then the response that will come, there will be trouble. So, of course, you will claim you are not, we are not communicating. And the other person might say, okay, you are not listening, so I'm not saying it again. Or I will bring something up and you wouldn't sit, analyze it, and you will just flare up. Hey, you said this, so maybe that might not be what you intended to say. And then there will be trouble. So before we can just bridge the gap and communicate well, we need to learn to listen actively. Take time, understand each other. And then if perchance you don't even understand what the other person is saying, you have to take time, ask questions to be able to understand it well before you give a response. And with that, at least the gap will be bridged and then we will get to understand ourselves.
Mommy, you kept on saying gaps. What are these gaps? You mentioned one, active listening. What are some of the other gaps that is hindering our communication?
Yes, active listening is one. Taking our time to have eye-to-eye contact. Okay. That's also another.
Okay.
Yes. Listening, hearing whatever is being said and analyzing it before answering is also another.
Okay.
Because if you don't, then the gap will be there and then there will be trouble.
Okay.
So you need to take your time, listen, have eye-to-eye contact, and then read the nonverbal communication signs. What is the face like when the person is saying this? Because yes, we can have so many words uttered, but when you look at the face, you understand the word differently. So look at the person. Think about what the person is saying. Analyze it. If you really don't understand, please ask questions to be able to understand before you also react to whatever is being said.
Alda, Mommy mentioned the non-verbal communication tools. Are there things we should look out for? How do they play in the communication?
Well, that's very interesting. Just to buttress what she said.
Please do.
Communication, as I said, we are all born to communicate, so it comes naturally. But it doesn't come naturally. We need to learn how to communicate. And to learn how to communicate, I think strongly we need to make time to probably attend workshops and seminars. Because there's more to communication than the average person can think of. You may have a PhD in whatever field. It will not make you an effective communicator until you learn the skills of communication. You see it? And we talk about non-verbal. We have non-verbal, then we have the verbal. What comes out of your mouth is the verbal. The non-verbal is your body language. But beside the two, she also mentioned listening. Is a key component of communication. One of the areas that a lot of us fail to, improve upon. So a lot of people settle more on the verbal and the non-verbal. But when it comes to listening, we fail miserably. So many, especially the male gender. Before the wife starts speaking, he thinks he knows everything already. So while you're talking, she's not even listening. He's not even listening. Now, if you don't listen, how do you know or how do you understand exactly what I want to tell you? So listening is a very key component of effective communication. And then the body language, for instance. You come home from work, you're talking to your spouse, your wife, and Even the way the wife rolls her eyes is sending a different signal altogether. Maybe, or the way she looks at you.
Elder, I know how to do it, Val.
I've been observing the women. I've been observing all the women. Since I have a lot of sisters and I have a wife and I have a lot of daughters, so at least I'm learning from them.
We are changing in 2024.
You better change. So it's very important that we learn these skills, because when a woman uses a certain body language, probably she's not conscious of what she's saying by the language, even the way you walk. I remember I have a friend who used to sell on the buses and trains way back in those days. He lives at Nsawam. And he says his medicine that he sells, he says when you buy his medicine and you take it, it makes you a man. So when your wife wakes up in the morning after,
Yeah.
and she's sweeping, even the broom sends
The
a
sound
message.
of the
The broom is saying, "Minyana sada nkamepe, minyana sada nkamepe,"
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it means that even the broom is communicating.
Yes.
The way the woman is sweeping and turning herself,
Yes.
Singing.
it means that minyana sada
Sada
nkamepe.
nkamepe.
That's right.
Yeah, the woman is so happy.
Happy.
Okay.
That's right. It's just when you understand what a woman is saying, it means that you must always
Yeah,
make sure-
continue.
Yes,
Don't
yes,
stop
yes.
what you are doing.
That's right. That's what it means.
I understand. Now, Mommy, how bad has these body languages, body communication methods, how bad can it affect our way of life, both in the married setting and those who are going into relationship to marry?
It has badly affected relationships because when, let me use we women, if we are not happy, the face alone tells a lot. How we walk, even how we serve.
Very true.
And I always say it, when a woman is angry, most of them would not say, "I won't give you food." I will give you food. But when you look at my face, you will not eat the food. It's there. So if you are conscious of what goes on and you really want to eat, then you will not look at the face. But the face alone will tell you that there's trouble. You see, I know of a friend, she will say, when I'm angry, I prepare my husband's favorite food. But the husband will not be able to eat because of how I will even present the food and my facial expression, you see. So that will tell you that there's trouble. So if you are not conscious of some of these things, you eat the food, you enjoy it, but still there is trouble. Some people, a male friend also said, the moment you ask your wife, "How are you?" and the woman says, "Eye," listen to the "eye" 2 times. Because if you are not careful, the "eye" is not a positive response. So you listen to the tone of the "eye" and then you look at the face before you can appreciate what is going on. So I would suggest that in relationships, yes, don't just listen, but look at the expressions, the non-verbal expressions around, and then decide. And if you still don't understand, please ask. Ask and ask again, or else you might lose the point and miss the point, and then your relationship will go sour. Because some of these things, it will be there, and then the person will keep it, bottle it up. One day, it will flare up, and then there's trouble. But when you see it at the beginning, you can just work on it, and then you'll be okay.
The way you're saying it can flare up or burst, can mere simple communication bring divorce?
Yes.
How?
Just like I said, you are not communicating, just like we began with. You don't understand me. And you are not responding as I want you to respond. So I feel hurt. I feel you don't love me like you always say. I feel you don't even see me as a human being. You don't understand me. So whatever I do, it seems I'm just doing things for doing sake and you are not appreciating. So what should I do? I have to leave. Because it affects the being of the person. It makes the person feels like a nobody in the relationship. So at the tail on end of it all, the person will say, oh, okay, let me leave the relationship and be free. But if you had communicated earlier, all these will go off and then the relationship will be healthy.
But Elder, we have people who are of the view that I do not only always have to express or come and tell you I am worried, I am that, I am that, I am that, but they rather expect you to read them.
The question is, am I a magician? I'm not a magician, so I wouldn't know. And especially if I don't even know these communication skills, you may be communicating and I wouldn't even understand.
Yeah.
See it. And like you're saying, research upon research has revealed that of all the issues that affect marriages, causing even breakdowns in marriage, communication is always the first.
Yeah.
You want to look at the 10 most critical issues that affect marriage. Communication is always the first of the 10 issues. That shows how important communication is in marriage and stability. And the nonverbal, for instance, is about 75% of how we communicate.
Yeah.
There's a common saying that actions
Speaks louder than
louder than
words.
words. See, so your body language speaks more than what comes out of your mouth. A lot of times, you may even say, oh, I'm fine. But behind your I'm fine, you're saying something else. You see, and until we understand what the body language is saying, we may assume wrongly. So you may think all is well, but all is not well. Two guys are playing dummy and by the roadside. And then the issue of my wife is loving, my wife is lively and kept in, and they wanted to prove whose wife was more lovely or serviceable than the other. Strangely enough, the two of them, their wives were selling boiled corn.
Corn, okay.
So it's okay. Let's put it to a test.
Oh.
Tell your wife to bring you corn. And I'll also do the same thing. So the first one called his wife. Agosia, please bring me some corn. And in less than no time, the wife came, brought a corn, and it was not in a plate, just brought a corn like that with all the, you know,
The husk.
the husk, everything on it. It's okay. Put it down. Let me also call my wife. Ayua, please bring me some corn. And the way she responded, and when the corn came, it was in the plate with even, you know, coconut, kube,
Yeah.
with some kube on it beside it, and then with one sachet of water.
Hey. Killing me softly.
And so now the two of them, the spectators had to now judge
Yeah.
whose wife was showing more love and affection, you know. So it wasn't the words that they used, but the language, the non-verbal, the actions showed who was a more lovely wife than the other, you know. So non-verbals speak louder, and they have profound effect on our relationships than you can ever imagine.
Non-verbal is another form of communication you should look out for. My lovely viewer, please remember to send in your contributions to 0559 680066. 0559-680066. Now, Elder, let's come back to love and communication. Where do we marry these two?
That's very interesting. In actual fact, I know, and I'm tempted to believe that love and communication are two different words altogether.
Yes.
They don't mean the same. Yet and still, one has a profound effect on the other. So more or less like they are inseparable. When it comes to married relationships, then love and communication are inseparable. Even though they mean two different things. Yet in married relationship, they are inseparable. You can't say you love me if we cannot communicate. Because how do you prove your love? It's in your actions. And your actions are the way you communicate. So, I speak to you, Akusia, I love you. Or Efia, Efia, I love you.
Yes.
My expression, if it is verbal, is what I use my voice to say.
Yeah.
I said it with my voice, I love you.
Yeah.
So, it means that I was able to only express my love for you by communicating it.
Yeah.
Now, I go to work, I come home, I come back home from work, and I brought you a parcel. I know you love this beautiful perfume. So I bought it, and I brought it home. Akusia.
Efia, oh.
Sorry, Efia, oh, sweetheart. Efia, this is for you.
Okay.
Now, this is an expression of love.
Yes.
You see it? So, somebody says, I would rather want to see a sermon than hear one.
Okay.
So, seeing is believing. I have shown my love to you by what I have communicated. But empty words, if you I love you, and nothing follows it. So how do I prove my love for you? Do you remember Samson and Delilah?
Yeah.
Delilah said to Samson, you say you love me, and you have deceived me these three times. So what is the proof of your love? Do you see it? So if you say you love me, prove it. And now Samson was now tempted to prove that he loved Delilah by now revealing the secret of his strength, just to show that he really loved Delilah. You see, so he proved it by revealing the truth. That is love.
Love one thing. Now, Auntie Doris, you realize that in some families, you see, we are talking about communication, and people may not understand you if you say people are not communicating, because Akwesi Papa comes from work. Akwesi Papa, we're doing an in here is your food. Akwesi Papa, the children, they said they should pay 15 cedis of this. That is it. So to them, that is communication. Are you saying all this is not enough? They should do extra?
Yes, they should do extra.
So show me more. How? How can they spice it up?
Okay. Let me begin by saying, you see, in relationships and in marriages, we come from different families. In my family, and let me use my family as an example, my father was the quiet type, just like you were giving an example. All that my father needs from me is when he gets home, Daddy, good evening. Please, my teacher says tomorrow I should bring an exercise book. He wouldn't even respond. The next morning, you see your exercise book on the table. So I'll just pick. When I see him, Daddy, thank you. I'm off. That's it.
Okay.
But in another home, it's not like that.
Very true.
You will see the children around the father, they will be playing. I didn't see my father smiling until I went with him to work and I saw him smiling, chatting with friends. And I came home and I was like, hey, so Dada can smile like this? And we're all like, everybody, my siblings wanted to go with me again to our daddy's office to see
his smiles again.
But he was a great dad. Whatever you need, it will be ready for you. but you will not. We didn't see my father chatting with my mother. And there's another home that I visited, and I was like, so you can get too close to your daddy like this? They were chatting, they were so happy, cracking jokes and all that. So these two families, like my family, and then I get married to somebody whose father is not like my father. How do we communicate?
Okay.
So I come back to elders' words that we need to learn. Okay. So you study your partner. You realize that, as for him, this is how he does his things. So what should I do? And as for her, this is how she also does her things. What should I do so that our marriage will work? Okay. Our relationship will work. So we need to learn, study ourselves, and then ask questions. At times you need to ask, you, when you were growing, how was your family like? And then you get to understand why this has been happening.
The way he does.
The way he does. Recently, let me bring in one of my stories. My brother-in-law, the oldest one, visited us. And then they were chatting. He came with the wife. And then my husband is the last one. So the wife was saying something about how the man is so possessive, and then she mentioned something. I said, so it happens in your home. We are just 30 years. They are getting to about 45 years in marriage. And I was so angry like this. And then they started laughing. So, he made a comment and I was so angry. So my brother-in-law said, don't be angry. That is how the men in our home, that is how we behave. So, and then the wife was like, don't bother yourself to be angry. I said, I didn't know, and I was so angry. They laughed. When they were going, they were still laughing at me. Yeah. So I learned my lesson from there. Okay. If I had not communicated this and kept quiet, I wouldn't have known that, this is how it is there. So I shouldn't be worried about it. So we need to probe further, ask questions to know what goes on, what went on before he grew up to meet you. There are certain things in your courtship and all that you would not know. Yeah. But when you come together, you need to be asking. At times, jokingly, you ask the family members around, and they will tell you, and then you understand why the other party does what he does. And then you learn from it so that there wouldn't be friction. So I think this.
Wow. Mama Doris, thank you so much. Let's go for a quick break. And when we come back, we continue with our discussion. Remember to send in your contributions or suggestions to 0559 680066. We'll be right back. Please do not leave us. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Calling all churches, join the National Bible Bee.
You will think that the Messiah appears only in the New Testament. But which text? In the Old Testament, the Anglican Church of Ghana.
Isaiah chapter 53, verse 4 to 7.
And that is correct. So 15 words are scattered on a crossword sheet. They would need to identify all the words within 3 minutes. Now, the person who finishes within the time first also win an extra 3 points.
Don't miss out on the opportunity to participate in the National Bible Bee. Register your church today and inspire the youth in your congregation to dive deep into God's Word. Register now and inspire the next generation. For more information, contact us at 0248 176916 or 0508 080774. Email nbbghana@gmail.com. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to make a difference in the lives of the youth within your church community. The National Bible Bee, implanting the living word through the written word.
As a small business owner, Mitaisha Business Forum, our Hope Channel, it really helps me with my business.
Don't let your priorities be because obi eye bibinti. Also we share some wide. Why one kasa sawasa. So we jani ni obiani.
Okay.
Obiani need there so that ungo fa a problem of my was.
In the first place, business a risk.
Okay.
It's just all about risk. Now pursue your business, so now you need you should be a risk taker.
Okay.
I would recommend it to you to Mesresa Usu Beshebi.
Hello, my beautiful, beautiful, beautiful family. You're welcome, and thank you for not leaving us. The program is Love at Home on Hope Channel Ghana. Thank you so much. We are discussing love and communication, and I have my beautiful guests. They are so ready for you and for me. Yes. So, Auntie Doris, you've been talking about love, communication, and you even shared scenarios where because you didn't ask, you were harboring some pain, and I'm sure by now those things were eating you up. Now, let us understand. These two words, they are inseparable. How should we manage it at all?
Thank you. They are inseparable and they complement each other. So, if you say you love somebody, you need to communicate the love to the person. And I would even say you need to do that, and you have to do it at the right time. I'm just picturing a woman who is angry, or a woman who is so tired. This woman comes back from work. The baby is strapped at the back. The little ones are crying. And then the man is sitting in his sofa reading newspaper, waiting for his food. And then we'll shout, honey, my dear, my sweetheart, is my food ready? I don't think you are communicating your love to the person. You are not helping. You are not giving out the actions that shows that you love this woman. So at home, we need to do more in our communication. What deeds do you have to do to communicate your love to your spouse or to your partner? You need to do so many things. If you don't know, in the heat of affairs, you don't even ask, what should I do? No. You need to find a proper time to ask, how do I help? So that we can live lively at home, enjoy ourselves. At times, there are some families, you go there and the one party would wish the other person had traveled for 10 years, because when the person is there, trouble, no peace. And you, the other person, might think, oh, all is well. But no. There are certain things, tiny, tiny, tiny little things that you have to do to spice your love and to communicate to the other person that, oh, yes, I have you at heart. I love you so much. And I would want us to live for a long time.
Okay.
So, helping at home, giving kind words, making the person feel precious, wanted, needed at home. All these should come together to help spice the love that you claim that you love that person, but not to burden the person, the other person, and then making the person feel that he or she is not worthy to be there. there are some people at home, all that when you hear love words is when it's time for the other person to demand sex. If you do this, I believe you demand and it will not be given to you. Why? Because there was nothing from the beginning of the day to the end to show that yes, you are precious, you are communicating love.
Yeah.
So we need to learn how to communicate it well in our day-to-day affairs, so that the other party would also feel that, oh yes, all that I'm doing shows that, oh, the other person appreciates it. If you don't do that, when are you going to do it? And if it happens like that, then one day you say something, and even if there are other people around, the response that will come, you'll be shocked. And that will also be the beginning of the break of that relationship. So we need to do it. And yesterday I was discussing this with my husband, and he was telling me that for communication, you decide that I am going into this marriage and I'm going to do all that it takes to make it work.
Okay.
So if I don't understand anything, I will have to ask. But I will have to find a good time to ask so that I will get the response. And then I will work on my weakness so that the relationship will work. The other party will also think of doing the same. And you will realize that everything will be smooth because you will communicate it and you will work hard to make it, the marriage work.
Okay. Now, Elder, you see, especially the men, we normally hear them saying, oh, as for women, all that they need is money. Oh, just give them money, you'll be okay. How true is that?
It's not true.
It's not
It's
true.
not true at all. Because money is not everything. Women, you know, women are emotional.
That's correct.
And if you can work on their emotions, you win them. You think you can buy a woman's
My
love.
man, please listen, oh. Please listen.
Yeah, you can buy a woman's love by just giving gifts or giving money. Or let's say you just bring a huge 64 feet TV.
Not
and you
inch,
think,
feet.
yeah, not inches, feet.
Feet.
And you
Right.
assume that when she has it, she's content. No, she didn't marry you for those things. They are emotional beings and they are relational beings, especially women. And they are affected by touch and all those things. So the more you touch them, the more you make them feel loved, the more you can, they would exude this loveliness.
If you are sitting
You see it.
closer to your partner, please do some touch. Touch, I beg you, touch.
Yes,
Thank you.
touch.
Thank you.
Women love to be touched. And you see, I would also want to say that sometimes the counseling, the premarital counseling we receive is contributing to our failing to communicate. In good counseling, we should help the couple, the prospective couple, to understand the value of communication in the marriage right from the start, and even help them to make sure that from time to time they go for courses, short courses, workshops, seminars to learn and improve their communication skills. See, because a little humor in marriage can make a huge difference. If you have a husband who is very humorous, and that's why I like my fancy brothers. You know, if you marry a fancy guy, anything they say, they will put in a little bit of humor.
Yeah.
And that spices the relationship.
Yeah.
No matter how bored or tired you are.
You can't be bored with a fancy.
Oh, when they come and then they put in their, a little bit of joke.
Yeah.
It takes away all
Charlie,
the...
what's in there?
You see, so it's beautiful. If every man would learn a little bit of humor, it will spice our marriages.
Okay.
Because it will make your wife smile. Even when they are tired. And a little smile on your face and just a little joke. When I was young, people know that I like talking. But when I was young, I wasn't talking. And I remember way back many years ago, Pastor Ewu I have known Pastor when I was a kid, since I was about 16 years old. He was my pastor. He nurtured me up. And I remember many years later when Mrs. Ewu, until he saw me, she was shocked. She said, Isaac, you have changed. Because she knew me, I was a quiet guy who never liked talking. But then when she saw me after so many years, she realized I wasn't the same guy anymore. This is now a talkative and a fun maker. And the secret was this. I had a cousin, Stephen. And I was born into a home of a lot of women. My mother gave birth to 5 girls before I was born. But I was a quiet type. This my cousin comes home, and every time he came home, he brought some jokes. And he would say one joke and everybody would laugh. And I realized that he became the, he was winning all the affection. So I realized that, look, if I don't also begin to learn how to joke, probably he's taking all the affection that belongs to me. So I had to learn how to also make fun.
Okay.
So when I come home and I also put one there, then everything changes.
Okay.
So if we can learn how to spice our communication with a little bit of joke here and there, and it will surprise you how much effect it will have on your spouse.
So in a nutshell, you're saying that we cannot communicate, or we cannot love without communicating.
Exactly.
How do you love when you don't communicate? Look, let's go to the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 15.
Okay.
It's all about love.
Okay.
But you will notice that every component of what is said in 1 Corinthians 13 is an action word.
Yeah.
Love is not this. Love is this. It's all action words. And action words are not passive. They are things you do. So love means holding. Love means touching. Love means smiling. Love means not getting angry. So every one of those words that describe love in 1 Corinthians is actually communication. That's a non-verbal communication. You see it. And they are very important. As I said earlier, 75% of how we communicate is non-verbal. So if you ignore the 75%, you have only 25% left. And that is not good enough.
Okay. But Auntie Lizzie, for some people who may not have known that their gestures are, maybe communicating to their partners, probably not what they intend to communicate. How do they go about it? They were brought up like that. And now their partners are seeing them differently. They didn't also ask. What should they do? I know you say that they should learn. What else can they do?
They should be conscious of their actions. Because what you have in your mind, it's what comes out. So you are angry. Definitely, when you walk, it will show that you are angry. So you have to think about it. So my anger, I'm trying to communicate. How is it going to affect my partner? So you should always be conscious of what you want to do. Think about it before you do it. Because there are certain actions, you put it up, and then your partner will not say anything, but he or she has taken a clue from it. You might not know. You may forget. But one day it will come up that this is what you did. And you will regret then. So if you are going to do something that you have to regret later, then you better not do it at all. So we have to, especially we the ladies, we have to be very careful with how we use our non-verbal communication. Think about it. Yes, I'm angry. I need time to communicate my anger, but I shouldn't let it affect all that I do. If you do that, at least you will reduce that non-verbal communication, and you will not hurt your partner. And remember, love does not hurt. Yes, you are angry, but you are not thinking of hurting the partner. If you think of hurting him or her, then you don't really love. So you will have to think and then rethink about what you want to do so that it doesn't affect the relationship, and then you wouldn't regret in the near future.
Now, Elder,
Yes.
to the men, how should they communicate their love? How?
How must we communicate our love?
Yes, we need you to communicate your love to us. We want to see some actions in 2024.
Yeah, that's what I said in 1 Corinthians.
Yes,
it's
the touch.
It's a primer for every couple, and
Yes.
especially the men must read it and read it and read it. And then also, beside that, men must learn to understand who the wife is. You see, we should not think that the women must be like us. Women are totally different from men. Physiologically, emotionally, whatever. By everything, women are different from men. And if we don't understand each other, we can't live together. Can two work together except they be agreed? So when we understand each other, we understand how women will react to situations. It will make us better communicators. So it will mean that we need to take time to know how women behave. We shouldn't just box them in. We shouldn't assume that women are this or that until we have learned to know exactly how women are.
Okay.
Then we'll be able to know how to communicate with them. You see it? So it's very important. It's all about making time to know, to learn, to study.
Okay. But I want you to give me some examples at home. How can we show that we love them? So that, as Mommy said, it will not be like I've returned from work, I've crossed my legs, waiting for my food, when I know that my wife, we all return from work together, she's running here and there, then you are shouting, screaming. How? What are some of the things our men should be doing?
All right.
We want to see some love.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
I like fufu pa. And incidentally, my wife is not a Ghanaian, she's a Liberian. But she has to learn how to
Prepare.
help. Yes.
That is love.
Yes. And so what I do at home, and they know it, when the cassava and the plantain is cooked, I know I have to go and sit behind the
mortar.
Yes. And then we'll be
We'll
doing
be
it.
turning it.
Yes. And in a lot of occasions, I will take the pestle and I'll be doing it myself.
yourself.
Yes. You know.
Is it not because
That's
you like
beautiful.
Oh, not because I like it.
Okay.
But I don't want her to suffer.
it? Okay.
It's-
That is
it's
love.
it will help to relieve the
pain,
fatigue, the
yeah.
pain, the tiredness.
Okay.
And then beside that, when I finish eating, I don't just go and dump my bowls in the sink. I go and wash my dishes. I even wash the dishes of the children.
Wow.
I make life simple for them. For so many years, I've been washing my own clothes. Not because my wife doesn't want to wash it, but I feel I must also make life simple and easy for her. So I said, look, let me also wash my own clothes.
So to you, woman's role is not just to come and prepare food and wash.
No.
Okay.
Look, who defines who play what?
Okay.
A man marries a woman, we come to live together. We must be able to define our own roles.
Okay.
We shouldn't go by this stereotyping.
Okay.
So in our house, we can decide. Akosia will wash, or Efia would wash, and I will press the clothes.
Okay.
Or even we can even wash together. So Sunday morning, we bring all the clothes
We do
together.
together.
We wash. You sit here, I sit here, we wash.
In just a minute, your final word to my lovely viewers.
My final word is that marriage is beautiful. Relationship is beautiful. But relationship is only going to be beautiful when we know how to show love and we know how to communicate. These two are bedfellows. They are partners in, everything. And so you can't just learn one and leave the other. They go hand in hand. So where you lack the skills in communication, learn it. It's never late at any given time for a man to learn or for a woman to learn how to communicate. Let's learn how to communicate, and then it will improve our love for one another. Because true love is practical. It is not theory. And to be practical, you show it. And you show by your communication. Every aspect of communication will tell that you love your wife or you love your husband. So in a nutshell, let's learn the two skills and learn them very well. Even loving, we need to learn how to love. It doesn't come naturally. We need to learn how to love. And also remember that when you don't practice loving, it dies.
It will die.
Yes. Let's nourish our love by practicing it daily, on a daily basis. Then it will grow. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Auntie Doris.
So I will also say, love is beautiful. And communicating well too is so beautiful. It makes people happy. We grow together. So let us learn to love and to communicate with each other. And the little ones at home will also learn, so that in future they will also know how to make their relationship grow. So we are saying we should learn to love and communicate well at home, and there will be peace. Thank you.
Let's learn to love and communicate well in our homes, so that there will always be love at home. On this note, I'll say thank you so much for joining us. We were discussing love and communication. And Auntie Doris, thank you so much. Elder Wuku, thank you so much. And to you, my special viewer, thank you so much for joining us, for not leaving us. Same time next week. Remember, there is love in the air. And in the month of February, we are talking about love. Remember, the show is Love at Home. Make sure there is love, peace in your home. See you next time. Thank you. Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.